All right, YouTube. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast talking Auburn football. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel and become a member, actually. Down in Deep South, college football is king, and on the plains of Auburn, the battle cry is War Eagle. Now, we got some news coming out of the plains that Auburn has terminated the tenure with Bryan Harsin. Bryan Harsin, the embattled coach at Auburn that came to the Plains from Boise State. A lot of folks didn't even know who he was to begin with. Had to do a little research to see what he had going on. He was actually hired after Gus Malzahn's win over Mississippi State. Gus Malzahn terminated. Now, a relatively successful coach at the University of Central Florida. Matter of fact, Gus Malzahn coming off a huge win over a ranked Cincinnati team, which probably, may or may not have added insult to injury. Also, you talk about the success of Bo Nix, who was an embattled quarterback at Auburn, now probably given another great game, will be in the conversation as a Heisman candidate. What went wrong at Auburn for Bryan Harsin? Well, a lot of things went wrong. For one, the recruiting was kind of subpar. Did he have enough time to be successful? Probably not. Did he help his own cause? Probably not. I think about the idea of, just not a cultural fit. If you think about the Deep South and you think about where he came from, you think about the adversities that a lot of the players actually go through. Some of your top recruits come from very high levels of obscurity. Some are probably the first to even go to college, and their only route to college is playing football. I think, you look at the fit, it was just never a good fit. There wasn't a cultural build there. You got a lot of plug and play players with, the transfer portal, so you never really had to get any kind of solidarity. So this is probably more so an advantage for Bryan Harsin, maybe, than it is even for Auburn. Because Auburn has a huge hill to climb at this point in finding a coach, piecing together a recruiting class that will begin to become, significant as far as maybe being the top 20 at best. And then you talk about the assistant coaches. You not only having to buy out Bryan Harsin, but more than likely 99.9%, the assistant coaches are not going to be there either, including Carnell Williams, maybe even including Zach Etheridge. So you're talking about replacing an entire entire coaching staff, with this departure of Bryan Harsin. Bryan Harsin coming off a 41-27 loss to Arkansas, arguably one of the more statistically impressive games. 468 total yards, no turnovers, 20 first downs, led the time of possession, but they just couldn't get the stops they needed to win that football game. You talk about a situation where late in the fourth quarter, down 38-13 against an Arkansas team that just, they're okay, but they're not a great team. They're one of the bottom feeders, and they probably will lose a couple of more games in the SEC. So where does Auburn go from here? You look at Coach Prime, who absolutely, in my opinion, is not going anywhere. It seems like the leading candidate right now is Lane It's just Kiffin. A situation where Auburn has put themselves literally in a rock and a hard place. But still, even at that, it just wasn't going anywhere positive. Bryan Harsin could have won out, and he still didn't establish culture at Auburn. He still didn't win over the fan base. And this is just a relationship that needed to end at a certain point. Go ahead and like the video, comment, and subscribe. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger or Eagle.